More transmitter tales and woes. Nevertheless, once high voltage had been applied to the transmitter electronics and some relays had been jiggled, the system just might be ready to send program material out over the airwaves. That is, if the audio made it to the transmitter. My dad said that it was sometimes necessary to dance a jig on the floor and over the wires down below the shack. This jarred them into making contact. The wires lost contact due to frequent nibbling by rats. The summertime also brought a storm nearly every afternoon, and this was anathema to any radio or TV station. The towers were, of course, the highest points from anywhere around, and lightning strikes were not uncommon. My dad indicated that he could tell of an impending strike by the indication showing on some meters on the console. It was when the strike was about to occur that he would tell me to run for my life. One afternoon, an especially violent thunderstorm came up, and those meters must have done their thing. My dad suddenly yelled for me to run, and I, just an 8-year-old, ran as fast as I could toward the door in the area between the two transmitters. For some reason, I was running slightly bent over, and that was a good thing, or I might not be telling this today. I had made it just past the FM transmitter rack when lightning struck the FM antenna. A bolt shot out of the FM transmitter and headed like an arrow toward the AM final transmitter bay, and just over my head. If I had not been hunched over, the lightning would probably have hit me in the noggin. Instead, it smashed into the AM transmitter and blew it all to bits. The final stage of the transmitter incorporated a large transformer. This was the audio transformer that helped perform high-level modulation, and the lightning reduced the transformer to rubble. The FM station was blown up as well, and the entire transmitter complex was down for 3 days. Regarding the modulation transformer, Bill Ragsdale wrote, "A morose hulk of electronic hardware, a modulation transformer, sat behind the transmitter and did the job. Because it possessed distinct antisocial tendencies, it would kill you. It was enclosed in a wired-in cage. Atop the transformer, 2 antler-like contraptions sprouted. This was the horn gap, designed to quench voltage that was too high for safe ingestion. Normally, the transformer sulked quietly in the shadows, muttering softly to itself in a parrot-like repetition of the program being broadcast. It was suffering from a loose core. However, if excited with certain audio frequencies, such as the shrill keening of high strings, it would let fly a Frankensteinian jolt of electricity across the horn gap. The sound was guaranteed to lift a sleeping engineer off the cot. Some of the more playful engineers soon discovered that the sound could be accurately simulated by ripping a piece of heavy canvas. A piece was kept handy at all times, just in case someone should take a nap. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy." End of Ragsdale's remarks. That the transmitter shack was unbelievable is brought home by another incident that my dad related. An examiner from the Federal Communications Commission summed it up neatly. Arriving for an unannounced visit, he looked slowly around the shack in stupefied amazement. Turning, he made for the door. "Where are you going?" grumbled an engineer. "Out to the car to get my camera," he replied. Nobody'd believe it. End of Ragsdale's remarks. Nevertheless, those halcyon days of visiting the transmitter with my dad were to finally end. He was relatively soon transferred to the radio studio. I believe that the station had quickly realized that he might be more readily applied as an on-the-air performer. However, the contrast between the transmitter and the studio could not have been greater. The studio actually had heat and almost no mice.